What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So, got a story for you. This one's about job searching and employers. I'm just so fucking fed up with all of it. I really am. I get. So you guys know I'm in a really fucking bad situation. I don't have fucking shit to my name. I don't have a fucking place to, I don't have my own place to live in right now. I'm living with a friend. And he wants rent money. It's not much, thank God, but I'm not living with him for long because he doesn't want me to. That's another story. I understand why, because he has a girlfriend. He has other people that come over, so it's not like there's been an argument, but it would be nice to be able to stay a little longer than he's letting me, but I'm not going to force the issue. It is what it is. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about how I got this message on Indeed, for this company that's looking for people to work as a caretaker, as a live-in caretaker, looking for people with an open availability to work as a live-in caretaker. I do have some experience as a caretaker. I do have some volunteer experience that I got in high school, although I did not have that on the resume. So what happened was I still received a message from this company saying that they wanted me to come in for an interview as a caretaker, right? So, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, they saw the resume and they realized that, I don't have any caretaking experience on the resume. So maybe they're giving me a chance, and, just maybe they'll consider me for a position even though I have no experience. Because clearly, on the resume it says I don't have caretaker experience. Why didn't I put it on there? Because it was over a decade ago and I only had 6 to 9 months of experience. So it was so long ago. I've been out of it for so long that it just doesn't matter anymore. The experience it's just not relevant anymore. So I go 50 minutes to this job, and I asked for Mary, which is her name, because she wanted to interview with me, apparently, which, what ended up happening was a completely different story for some reason, but I'll get into that in a second. And then I talked to her assistant who's working at the front desk, and I'm like, okay, so Mary wants to see me, right? She's like, well, yes, but first you have to fill out, this separate paper application. And I'm just thinking, like, great. So here we go again with, I have to keep filling out applications. I have to keep filling out separate applications. Like, you didn't look at the fucking application. You didn't fucking look at the resume experience, not the application per se. Well, even though I filled out the application on Indeed, it's like, it just doesn't make any sense. I filled out the application on Indeed. You wanted to have me in for an interview, and then you're making me fill out a paper application when I get there. If you wanted me to fill out an application on your website, why would you not just email me instead of having me waste my time driving 15 minutes there and then going to fill out a paper application? But then at the same time, it's like you want me to write down all my resume experience yet again. You want me to write all my resume experience down on the paper. This is something that really fucking pisses me off, because I have all my resume experience on Indeed. It's online. This is the point of online applications, right? What's the point? What's the point of online applications? What's the point of having me in for an interview if you look at the fucking resume on Indeed and you don't like? So it's like, you have my resume on Indeed. I go in, I drive 50 minutes, and then you have me fill out a separate application after I already applied on Indeed. And then you want all my resume experience again, even though you should have it in the system already. If I applied for it, I applied for the position on Indeed. My resume is current and up to date. There's no reason why I should have to fill out another resume application, a paper resume application, when you guys already have it online on Indeed. It's up there. It's public. Anyone can see it. It's not private. It's not some mystery. It's public. It's for the public view. Anybody can look me up and look up my resume. So I end up wasting more time filling out this resume, and you know, I finally finish it, but you know, not before they need. I go to the next page, and they need 6 different references. They wanted 6 different references from me at first. So I'm like thinking, okay, you know, there's no way. I don't have 6 references, professional references. I'm sorry. It's just a little ridiculous. I don't have 6. So I texted, her name is Mary. I texted her and I'm like, look, are you still considering me? Would you still consider me for a position? I don't have 6 references, you know? And she's like, yeah, that's okay. Well, first I said, I don't have 6 references. My apologies. I texted her while I'm there. I'm like, I don't have 6 references, right? I mean, are you still going to consider me for a job position here? And she's like, yeah. She texted me back. She's like, yeah. We'll still. Well, what happened was, I'm sorry, I'm confusing you to all my viewers. What happened was, I text her, are you still going to consider me for a position? So after I texted her, 3 minutes later, her assistant just comes down the hall out of nowhere and says, Mary said that's still okay if you only have like 3 or 4 references. Just put as many references down as you can. I was like, okay. And then, you know, she had texted me like before her assistant even made it down the hallway, which is weird. I don't know why she sent her assistant, but I digress, whatever. So I get done filling out the rest of the application. I write down the references I have, and you know, and all of a sudden her assistant comes back and she's like, well, Mary's not interviewing you right now. Mary can't interview you right now. She's busy. So I'm going to interview you. I was like, okay. So her assistant takes me back to the room. I mean, we go back to this room. You know, she sits me down. We start talking. And she looks at my resume and immediately she's like, well, you don't have the resume experience we need. I mean, I told her, I was like, look, I don't have caretaking experience on my resume, but I mean, I have volunteer experience. She's like, well, actually, like, we need people who, you know, have more experience outside of, you know, family. We need people who have actually, you know, who have licenses or who are actually more experienced, or have more experience on the job. And I'm just, I mean, I didn't even know what to say at that point. I thanked her for her time, which I really didn't fucking want to, but I did. And I just left the building. And I sat in my car after that for 15 minutes. Just feeling like I got completely duped and bamboozled by this employer. You know, and this, again, this is, moral of the story, this goes back to the video that I made. I want to say it was like 2 or 3 months. It says, employers, don't be surprised why nobody wants to work. Okay, this is why nobody wants to work. I spent my time, my energy, my money, my gas, my miles, everything, driving almost an hour away to this job interview. After they sent me a message on Indeed saying they'd love to have me in for an interview. Okay? They'd love to have me in for an interview. So either they did not check my Indeed resume, or something else happened, or a robot checked it. I don't know, because when I had to go in, you know, I had to fill out a separate paper application and put my resume experience on it again. So again, like, it's just another example of how these employers are wasting your time, your effort, your energy, your money. They're killing your sanity. I mean, it's just like, it's ridiculous. And they have, you know, they have the audacity. They have the audacity to talk, you know, to talk down to you. They have the audacity to even ask for 2 weeks notice so they can replace you when they wouldn't do the same for you, ever. There is not one situation that I've heard of, not one situation that I've heard of in my 30 years on this fucking miserable planet where I've heard of an employer willingly giving an employee 2 weeks to search for another job before they fire you. Because in fact, most of the time when I've asked when I've told employers, oh, I'm gonna put in my 2 weeks, most of the time they just say, well, you're fired. Most of the time they just fire you right there and then. Most of the time they just fire you right there and then. Why? Because they don't want to pay you for the rest of the 2 weeks. That's the reason. They don't want to pay you for the rest of the 2 weeks. Even though it makes no sense, even though it costs more to train new employees and bring new employees in, they would just rather not pay you for 2 weeks. This is just the greed. This is just the stupidity and the lack of common sense that employers have, and the greed that employers have. You know, so I don't know, guys. I don't know when the next video is going to be. I know I know the last one was kind of a long time ago, but you know, I just don't have the energy to do this anymore, man. I just don't. You know, I waste my time, I waste my money, I waste my energy on people, and they just turn around and do this shit. You know, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. I just don't get it. I don't get it from these fucking employers anymore. I just don't understand it. So I don't know when I'm gonna make another video. Probably gonna be a long time. You know, if my mental health ever gets better. Of course I want it to, but you know, I can only do so much. I can only try so much. I can only apply to so many positions. You know, these employers want me to get experience out of thin fucking air, and I can't do that. I need to work to get experience. I can't just get experience out of thin air. Okay? I need a chance to work to get experience, to learn a new skill. I don't know what they expect us to do. If they expect us to just do 30, 40-hour free internships on top of our normal 40, 50, 60-hour jobs, I don't know what they want, but you know, it's getting out of hand. This economy is getting out of hand. These jobs aren't paying. These employers are wasting people's time. I don't know what to do anymore, but I can't be making videos again, you know, until at least for a while. I just need to figure out what I'm gonna do for work in the future, because just things have not been working out, man. It just haven't. So guess that was my last video and my last rant for a while, guys. Till next time, stay safe out there, and I'll be back to make a video as soon as I can, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the break might be longer this time. So I'll see you guys in the next one.